here, there's gonna be a lot of fucking profanity. Just a little mild disclaimer, just so you know. I don't want to fucking offend anybody, okay?
It's okay if you offend people. It's Houston. Most of these people are armed.
And also, they know me. They know I don't give a fuck about offending people. How y'all doing?
In case you're wondering who was just talking to you, you may know him best as Sam Gibson from The Young and the Restless. Thank you. Sean Patrick Flannery, everyone. Next to him, you'll find Clifton Collins Jr. And if you go all the way to the end, that's David Della Rocco.
All right, and this guy talking to you is Ernie Manous. You may know him. He's kind of a big deal.
Kinda. And over here, this is Rupert Vegas. You may know him too. He's kind of a big deal too. Do you know who he is?
Fox 26 Morning Show.
PBS. But you don't care about us, you care about them. So, these guys made a couple movies together. Do you guys know what they are?
Yeah.
Thank you. God, so we're going to take some questions from the audience, have some fun, get to know these folks, but let's start off right away with Sean. Are you surprised people still care about these movies?
I'm shocked. You know what? It's kind of weird. It's something we live every day. It's, you know, I mean, you should be so lucky to have a career where people remember one moment of your career, and it's punctuated by a film like that. It's an honor and privilege. It's incredibly flattering. So, you know, it's a God bless you guys.
We have just been joined by a tardy boy to our class. If you can introduce yourself,
Brian
tell us why
Mahoney.
you were late.
Hi, I'm Brian. I play Detective Duffy in the Boondock Saints.
Yes, you're
Well, all right then.
Where's Norman?
I don't know, but Jumbotrons just kick ass, don't they? I wish it was on a delay so I could turn around and I could see myself pointing this way. I'm ninja quick, but I'm not that.
So, Clifton, how do you feel being up here with these folks?
I love it. I mean, anytime you get a chance to interact with the fans, it's a fun time. It's just a different reality, you know?
What about the guys beside you?
How do you guys feel about being out down here with folks?
I like interacting with the fans also.
Textbook.
Pretty universal.
Yeah.
So basically, the first time I saw the movie, and I just want to throw this out there, because when I saw the list for who was coming to Comicpalooza, who could do the panel, I was the first one that said, I want to be on the panel, I want to do it, because I love the film. But I actually walked into Blockbuster. It used to be a place where you could rent videos. And there was this movie on the rack, and I just thought the cover was cool. It was like Boondock Saints. I want to see this. So I took it home and I watched it. And then the next day I called everybody I knew that was a nerd that cared about movies and cool stuff. And I said, you've got to see this film. So I'm happy.
He was late. By then, everybody he was telling was like, duh.
Right, exactly. I was. So my question to the panel, so I mean, we're going on almost 20 years ago. So making Boondock Saints, was this something where it was a script that you guys were like, I want to be in this movie, or is at that point as younger actors you were just like, I just need to get into a movie and make some money?
Nah, it sucked. You always fucking need it then, don't you? You know, I mean, I read the script and I loved it, and you know, me and Rita's campaigned to get it, but they wanted like Marky Mark and Patrick Swayze, and it's a true story, man. They have these lists, you know, like where they're like, okay, we want to cast God, and then we want Jesus Christ, and then they go down the list, and then they get to mortals, and then they get to, you know, we're like on the Q list. And then they came to us, and luckily enough, everybody passed on it, or they had conflicts, and then it came around to us, and we got to do it. But yeah, you know, you read a script like that, you want to be a part of it. But having said that, you know, you never shoot a film expecting it to be anything, because it's like a tip of an iceberg. Whatever you guys have seen us do, we've done, you know, 900% more than you've never seen. You know, I've made a career out of doing shit nobody sees. True story, man. You know, so, you know, you do it, and although it's a good script, there's 1,000 different variables that go into making something good. And one thing fucked up can turn into a shit film. So you do it and you hope it's executed properly, but you certainly don't anticipate it being a cult hit, you know, because a cult is a recipe that you can't really design. It has to kind of happen organically, and you know, we just we're very fortunate that people plugged into it, you know, for whatever reason. So,
Were you and Norman friends before the film, or did it? Norman Reedus.
yeah, he's one of my dearest, he's one of my closest friends on the planet, and he was before we even did Boondock 1. So then, when they're like, you guys get to go do this movie, here's a stack of foreign currency, you'll be treated as royalty, go. Go have a date with a penguin in Canada. We were like, sweet! It truly was. It was like, no shit, they're gonna cast you and me? Oh my god, they had no idea! You know? And then literally they were like, and Mr. Fire, did you meet Rita? So I'm like, no. How you doing, buddy? My name is Sean. Rita's is like, I've worked here before. There's a place called the Brass Ring. It's a peeler bar in Canada. It's I'd like to thank collapsed Soviet republics for their workforce.
As we slowly spiral out of control up here, I'd like folks to know on either side there are microphones. If you would like to queue up for questions, we'll start grabbing those in just a minute. I want to ask Brian, though, any idea that the film would be as successful as it was in the realm of cult? And if so, why? What do you think it is about it that makes this film work?
Sean's right. You know, anyone who says they thought or they knew that this was going to be a great film is lying. I mean, you just don't know. The structure was different when I read the script. It was so cool and so fresh that I actually, to get the part, there were 4 detective roles, not 3. Detective Walker. I memorized all 4 detective roles and finally got an audition because I didn't know what they let me audition for, so I memorized all 4. And I went in there, and there was Troy Duffy, never directed anything, just in a t-shirt and a cigarette, and just like a caricature. It was just like he looked like a truck driver. It was kind of cool, very unusual for Hollywood. And he said, "So what are you here for? What are you auditioning for?" And I took a chance. I wanted his name, so I said, "I'm here to play Duffy, you." And he thought that was ballsy. He was kind of a ballsy dude. So he said, all right, show me Duffy. And because I was born in Framingham, Mass. and had an authentic New England accent at the time, I went for it. And I got lucky.
Hey, Brian, real quick, because a couple of the really standout moments in the movie feature Willem Dafoe. And you were in a couple of those. What was it like working with him on set?
Well, it was freaking intimidating to meet him because this guy was Jesus Christ.
Only because they couldn't get God, is the point.
But I gotta tell you, the first day when Bob Marley and I went the trailer, he was getting his makeup on and everything, he just sort of, all that badass, scary shit just melted away, and he was a gentleman. And when it was time for him, when his lines were done, in other movies, big movies, you know, the big actor, the A-lister leaves, and you end up talking, you know, your part ends up talking to you know, the assistant director or whatever. He stayed when after he should have gone home. And he was there for us. He was there for the younger actors. It was great. He's a real gentleman. I give it up to Willem Dafoe.
Well, and I think Sean was at least part of the scene where we find out that Willem Dafoe is not a good-looking woman.
Says who?
Beauty's in the eye.
Hey, let me interject one thing about Willem Dafoe and drag. It was on our day off, Bob Marley and I, and we just had to take a look. We had to get out of the set and check it out. So we show up on set, and there's Willem Dafoe in drag, and from like 50 feet, he looked fucking god-awful. You get closer, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, I like the outfit, but he was sitting there in his chair, reading a glamour magazine, getting into character. Fuck, I got a lot to learn from this guy.
You know, everybody always says Willem Dafoe's a method actor. You know, he only recites lines from the script. You can only kind of call him by his character name and all that other crap. He's like really focused and don't get in his eye line and moonwalk out of the rooms, no eye contact. It's all bullshit, except for me. First time I met Willem Dafoe, we were ordering pizza across from the hotel. I cute little waitress comes up. I'm like, yeah, I'll have a pizza margarita with no basil and an iced tea. And she's like, okay. She's writing it down. And Willem looks at me. The only time he ever would like, he'd only use lines from the script with me, and one fucking line with me. I order, I'm looking at her, she's like, okay, anything else? I'm like, no. She's like, okay. Willem goes, fag. Yeah, fuck it.
All right, let's jump over and take our first audience question over to this side.
Hi, question for Rocco. What did you really mean by catch you on the flip side? Were you foreshadowing your own death? A beautiful scene, by the way.
No, I couldn't hear that.
I couldn't either. Give it to me a little slower and a little louder.
Hi, question for Rocco. What did you really mean by catch you on the flip side? Were you foreshadowing your own death? It was a beautiful scene, by the way. Thank you.
Ooh, nice. Maybe. I don't know. Sounds good. Maybe I should go with that.
I don't know what you said, but she's left.
You know what? Let me tell you. Every line that Rock says in Boondock, the meaning behind it was page 23.
Good question.
Well, David, since they're talking to you right now, the question, how did your character come to be? And the name is very clever for the character. How did all that work together?
He just liked my name, Rocco. And so when he was writing the character, he had it. And I happened to have long hair and a beard because I was doing this play where I had to be a 1975 carpenter and a construction guy. And so I happened to have this really long hair and beard. And so he liked that whole look to go against Norm and Sean, the brothers, or whatever.
And it being clever, that's a height of fucking laziness. His name is fucking Rocco. Like, how clever is that? I got a headache. Let's just fucking go with the one that you got. Yeah, dug deep for that one, Troy. Yeah. Okay, he wrote the character after Rock, because if you've met Rock, he's a pretty stellar individual. We've had heaps of fun with this cat. Like the shit that comes out of his mouth, and Troy just kind of documented it. He's like, ooh, another good nugget. Ooh, another good nugget.
Somebody looks like they're waiting for their next question, gentlemen.
Hi, Sean. Just want to say, super excited for talking to Indiana Jones.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
But since this is Boondock's Q&A, I got to see the Overnight documentary back in 2003 on the festival circuit. What do you guys think about it? Is that how it really went and down? And what was Troy really like to work with?
Rock, Brian, Cliff.
I love that movie. I do. I love the doc. There is some politics that happen. I think it's really dangerous making a documentary without telling both sides of the story. And it is, you can see in that doc there's a bit of a fallout internally. So I think the filmmakers did themselves a disservice because Troy, to that side that you saw in that particular doc, but conversely, there is another side that is just as fun to be around and charming and entertaining and, you know, the guy that you want to hang out with and be with and drink with and have fun, you know?
Either that or he's just really a dick.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything they want to share on that, or moving along?
I've got a question for David before we get to our next fan out there. So the scene where he comes home, he comes back to the apartment and he finds out that he was set up, you know, and he was supposed to die. And he's freaking out and trying to pack everything into just get everything out of the apartment and get out of there. Was that all just like one take, one time, you just flipping out and going crazy, or how did that scene come about?
Yeah, that was a fun scene. Though. We just, it was kind of easy to get into it, and it was, he didn't do many takes. There was not much take two in that movie, the first one. and we just went in with it, and then, yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yes, you did. Just let the magic happen at least.
Let me embellish on the how many takes there were. There was a scene that I did. It was like I've been waiting for it for weeks. It was like the hotel scene. It was like my biggest scene, my biggest lines. I was so psyched to finally get to this day. And we do the first take of the scene, and Troy comes running out from back behind the camera. He goes, "One take, Mahoney. All right, moving on." Whoa, this is my moment. I fucked that up. Come on, and then boom, and we're gone. It was just like fast.
All right, our next question.
I want to know, was there, like, who was the biggest jokester on set, or was there?
Probably Flannery.
Why it's gotta be me, man? I'll tell you the first time, like when I met Rock the first day, this is my inauguration of Rock. They had served like catered like burritos or something, and Rock had like 19 or 23. He was a prime number, I remember that. And all three mathematicians laughed at that. And so Rock goes into the bathroom, and I go, and there's like, I swear to God, there's like a huge, it was like in an auditorium, there's a crowd, like people everywhere. But in this bathroom, it was empty. And I just see Rock go in and shut the stall door. And so I looked, and I saw a bunch of people, a class in this auditorium was letting out people. So I went into a stall next to Rock's, and I sat up, put my feet on the toilet seat. And I could see Rock in there, in the stall, with the door shut in his feet. I just took his shoes out the bottom, and I waited till like 10 people came in, and I started going, oh, I don't know if I can fit. True story. It was like Toronto University or some shit. Didn't I tell you? People coming in going, is he really? Is that guy really? Thank you. And I could just picture Rock in there going, I think somebody's masturbating. But it was probably somebody else that was the biggest prankster, not me. I mean, that's minor league shit right there.
Who would you think was the bigger prankster?
That was a joke. I can't help it. I can't help but fuck with people. And I expect to be fucked with back. I'm an equal opportunity fuck with them.
All right, we have another question.
First off, I just want to say that I watched this movie the first time whenever I was in high school, 99, when it came out. Loved it, have loved it ever since. And I just want to say the favorite scene that I had, the funniest one, was whenever y'all shot the cat.
Obviously a PETA member.
I actually have 2 cats at home, so, you know, I still thought it was funny.
I'm still sorry for those fuckers.
I just want to know what y'all's favorite funny scene was.
Okay, well, anybody? Cliffy. What was your favorite scene? She loves what was the funniest scene to you? Her favorite scene, the funniest one, was the cat explosion, which by the way was very real. We had an air cannon that was about 12 inches diameter. You could stick all kind of shit in it, and it would launch stuff. Swear to God. So obviously, me and fucking Ritas took it out back by what they call in Toronto the beach, which is like a fucking lake. But they're like, oh, go to the beach. You're like, okay, we're going to the beach. And we would just launch shit, turkey sandwiches out into the water, and it sounded like a fucking cannon. We're like, oh my fucking God, let's put. We had a pool ball. We launched that. Didn't go very well, but all kind of shit. We just launched it like 40 yards out of it, and it sounded like a fucking 8-gauge shotgun. And then we get onto the set, and we're loaded it with spaghetti, tomato sauce, ketchup, all kind of crap to make it look just heinous on the wall. And Rock goes, Sean, when that goes off, is it loud? I'm like, no, Rock. You're gonna have to act. And I shit you not, when it went off, like, real reaction. And then when we cut, he's like, we have to do that again because I wasn't acting, I was... We're like, no. That shit lives, motherfuckers. One take, it was fucking funny. Me and Rita's peed ourselves. We were shaking. We were honestly shaking with laughter back in the trailer after that at Rock, because Rock was fucking shook. He was fucking shook.
Isn't it funny, all this prankster stuff? He goes, why me? And all the stories, agitating, yep.
All right, a question no one has asked yet that I'm sure is going to be asked at some point, so I'll jump in and ask. Boondocks 3? Can I just take your question?
We'll let Norman answer that.
Oh, wait.
He's not here.
Never mind.
He should be here any minute. I ordered something. I gave him a little text just a minute ago. I ordered something. He should show up.
You do get to ask another question.
All right, Sean, would you ever be in The Walking Dead with Norman Reedus?
Hey, who says I haven't already? Maybe when the series ends, there's gonna be a little Easter egg, and you're gonna be like, there was this one fucking zombie with an unusually large firstborn brother bulge. I just made that shit up, but that's quite good. It's good.
I guess no one's going to answer the Boondocks.
Who's got Boondock 3? Rock. Cliff.
Don't know. I heard it was written.
So there is a chance.
So you're saying we have a chance?
By the true definition of a chance, yes.
Okay. We're going back out for the young lady at the mic.
Hi, since Norman's not here, what's one of the most embarrassing stories you have about him?
Probably the rap gift I gave him on Boondock 1. That'd probably be it. Next question. Oh, you guys don't know what I gave him for the rap gift? Oh, so we're in Canada, right? You know, and obviously I can't turn my brain off. Didn't come with an off switch, so I'm fucking contemplating shit. And it's customary that you give a rap gift. You give people like a little gift, like, hey, it was nice working. We spent 3 months together, but I already knew Rita's, right? And he knows me, and he knows I fuck with shit. I can't help it. I gotta fuck with shit. If you leave in front of me, I fuck with shit. So it comes time for the rap gift, and I give him. We've been in Toronto for 3 months, and they have Tim Hortons, killer coffee, by the way. The donuts are okay. So there was a Winchell's Donuts, American Donuts, and I got him a dozen donuts. I'm like, for a rap gift, it's killer working with you. I gave him a donut. He's like, oh, thanks, bro. And I'm like, yeah, check out the donuts. They're good. They're Winchell's, man. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll eat the donuts, man. You know, so that night we probably went to Brass Rail or whatever. The next day I show up in the makeup trailer. I'm like, did you gobble those donuts, man? They're fucking killer. They're Winchell's Donuts. American Donuts are killer. The glazed donuts are sweet, right? It's like, yeah, I had a couple of donuts. Oh, the lid is 2 missing. I'm like, dude, eat the rest of the fucking Winchell's Donuts, man. They gotta go bad in like a couple days. Eat the fucking donuts. Go back after lunch. There's like 6 missing, right? There's half a dozen left. Next day I come up, what about the donuts, man? You can be like, you know, we were at the press room till 4 a.m. We had those hot dogs on the curb. I'm not really hungry. Like, eat the fucking rest of the donuts. So I ate the rest of the donuts. I'm like, fucking sweet. It was a rap gift. Thank you, man. This is fucking good donuts, right? He's like, yeah, great donuts, huh? So we flew home. After I got home, I waited about a week because it was a gestation period for this kind of fucking alarm. I sent him a little envelope with 10 Polaroids of me in a Barca lounger, threadless, in my birthday suit, with a glaze around my Jimmy Johnson. Oh! And you know what? Never fucking got a phone call about it. That's one you just fucking under the you pretend that shit never. Did you ever get that envelope? What envelope? That was one of my finer moments. Pretty proud of that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, it's fucking, you know, it's top level ninja shit. But I'll tell you this: fucker's got more dirt on me than I got on him. Honest to God. If the train was coming, fucker could toss me underneath that shit. But you know, he's not the fucking blab that I am. I'm a talking motherfucker. Yeah, tell him. But in all honesty, man, people always say shit like, you make fun of him, that's not fair. It's like, you know what, dudes socialize by picking on each other when they don't really mean it. You fucking chicks socialize by complimenting each other when you don't really mean it, right? Yeah, that's what we do. And he fucks with me too. He just doesn't.
All right, we'll go back out to the audience. Next question.
So I'm with my boyfriend out in the audience, and he's never seen Boondock Saints. This is his first experience with Boondock Saints. And before I show it to him, I want to know, how the hell did you get the kind of chemistry you did in that movie? Like, it's not the action, it's not the story, it's the chemistry that makes it for me. How did you get that?
We did it.
Especially with you and Norman, like the rope thing. It's that scene. Oh, you're bloody fucking rope.
You know what I mean? That's something, in all honesty, it's some shit that you can't fake. You can't fake that. You know, if you dig somebody, if you get along, I think it translates. I really do believe that there's a certain pathos behind the eyes that you can't fake. You can't throw some artistry at it, and it's either there or it's not. And it's true that the outtakes of that fucking film are better than the film, because it's two dudes fucking with each other 24/7. In part 2, when we're in the coffee beans, if they have those fucking outtakes, man, I mean, it's just what dudes do. And, you know, he's been a buddy of mine for a long time. You know, I don't know that it would have worked, and I'm not saying, you know, the acting prowess was stellar or anything, but that kind of chemistry is something that you can't fake. You know what I mean? Same thing with Cliffy. I knew Cliffy from before Boondock 1. You know what I mean? And when you assemble people that, it's funny, when you do a movie, it is an organic process, but whenever oh, my fucking water came. Happy birthday, dear Cliffy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Fucking badass. Love you. I placed an order. Yeah, I'm good. Hi. Happy birthday, motherfucker. Say something and I'm gonna cry.
What flavor is it?
It's good flavor.
Can't wait till you get a photograph sent to you from Norman now to see what he
I'm waiting for the picture. Thank you guys, that was really sweet.
All right, I think we have another question from the audience.
It is Cliffy's birthday, by the way. She thought I was making that shit up, and I said I placed an order.
There you go.
People say that, oh wow, you're working on your birthday, it's too bad. Maybe when you get back, you can do something fun. I'm like, I am doing something fun. I'm hanging out with my friends, my brothers, my Boondock Saints, my family, I love that shit. You're not with that, you guys. Any chance I get to hang out with you guys is always a present. In any case, thanks, guys.
It always is impressive. Like Cliffy, tell them about what you assigned Rocco to do last night.
Well, we're just friends. We're brothers. We think about each other. And I was sitting with Rocco at dinner, and there's this cute young waitress that came up to Rocco. I said, for my birthday, Rocco, for my birthday, I want you to close a deal with that waitress.
And then she comes to the table, and Rocco goes, my friend Cliffy, it's his birthday, and he wants me to close it with you.
That isn't over. I mean, it is over. It didn't happen last night. But, you know, maybe we can figure something out, like maybe she emails me or something. When you guys go to the restaurant, what was it, the B&B thing?
And Rock's not good at signals, because this is her response. Oh my God, really? I mean, was that really what Cliffy wanted? Or was that... And Rock's like, scared that's what he wanted me to do.
Oh, boy.
That's a true fucking story, isn't it?
Yeah?
That was last night. Rock don't give a fuck, man.
Missed opportunities. Speaking of missed opportunities, that's what Sean wrote a book, and it's really good. It's called Jane 2. And he missed an opportunity in his life. And that's a big thing in the story. Have many of you read it? Raise your hand. Did you like it? Yeah, it's a really good book. I was impressed. I didn't think it'd be any good, really.
He's like, I've known Sean for years. I thought it wouldn't be shit.
Writing is a tough thing to do, but enough about that.
Let's do a sign language test. In the book, there was none of this. That shit didn't translate. Just a test. I was just throwing it out there to see. I think she's making shit up. She's making shit up now. Are you cleaning up my dialogue? Are you? They're gonna leave here going, fucking Flannery's a gentleman. Let me assure you, parts of me, I've extracted all the gentlemen in certain areas.
You obviously weren't paying attention to what she was doing when you mentioned
masturbation.
Oh, really? I didn't see. I should have looked. I didn't see.
Say it again. She'll do it. She'll have to.
I wonder how they teach that. And then when you're demonstrating a man giving himself a squeezer, you go.
I don't even want to know what that part is.
I do.
To our gentleman at the mic, save us quickly.
I don't know if we're going to do that.
Focus.
One of the best scenes I remember from the first movie is a scene that didn't actually get put into the theatrical release. The scene where the brothers are talking to their mom, and she's pretending she's going to go shoot herself. First, how did you like that scene? And second, why was it in the movie?
Did I like the scene?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think in hindsight, we all agree it should have been in the movie. I thought it was fucking hysterical. It was all like made up shit on the day. And I think the mother character is flavorful, multi-dimensional. I think it's hysterical in a moment where it was originally placed in the script, in a moment that you needed a little bit of relief. And I think most people even agree that should have been in the movie. I love that part. I happen to love that part. It's a good place.
Next question, please.
All right, I'm nervous as fuck right now. First off, amazing movie. I have a question about the scene when y'all are in the jail cell sleeping and y'all end up getting awake. Like, what is the whole point behind that scene, and what was supposed to be going through y'all's minds when that happened?
No idea what you said, brother. Right, I wanted to let you finish because it was so painful. You want to do it again. I want to make you the whole fucking thing.
Okay, this scene.
Public speaking is the most. It's the biggest fear in the world. That fucking crazy? You're probably peeing right now. And that's cool. That's cool. I mean, you know.
Everybody got to pee.
You're not helping any. Okay. All right, the scene when y'all are in the jail cell and you know the water's dripping and all that, and y'all are woken up. What is the whole point behind that scene, and what are supposed to be going through y'all's minds when that happens?
You know what I think? I don't think an artist can discuss his craft any more than a plant can discuss horticulture. See, right now there's some fucking green thumbs out there that got it, all 6 of them. You know, but in all honesty, I think if you have to explain your art, it's missed the mark, you know? And, you know, there's plenty of people out there that think you know, Sympathy for the Devil is about a guy losing his dog, and if it moves him, I certainly don't want to interrupt that and tell him the true meaning. And you know, it's to be, you know, interpreted individually, and I think it's kind of clear, but I get that question a lot, and I certainly don't want to bastardize their imagery in any way by putting my thoughts on it. But of course, mine, I didn't write it. You know, Troy wrote it, and I frankly don't care what he thought. I know what I think. Do you know what I mean?
I understand. Curious, preparing for this film, or for the second one too, how much of it is, because obviously you guys had a great time doing it, the fun, the joke, all of that stuff to it, but how much of it did you guys put in beyond what's on the written page? How much more did you know these characters or need to know them to give us the performances that are in this film?
I don't know about everybody else, but I think Sean and maybe Norman, I had quite a bit of input. I mean, we all had to kind of approve the second draft, the second sequel rather. And so I was going back and forth. And you know, you got some jokes that might not hit, or they might fall flat, or you know, there's some jokes that are kind of like half-baked. So you just kind of make fun of the joke to Troy and show him how it's not funny, and then he'll come up with something, or just give him something new. But you know, it's you know, sometimes the dialogue can be a bit precious to the writer / director. But when you've been doing it as long as Sean and everybody here at the table, it's like you kind of know it's going to hit more or less. I think at this game, when you say Sean.
Yeah, I think so. You know, you know, my process is, you know, I go to a dark place, and my process takes place on the street environments, and I immerse myself in things for months prior to a role. I made that shit. I'm the least method fucker you'll meet. My preparation is included in between page 1 and fade out. If it's written correctly, that's kind of all you need. But yeah, most of it is, the more well written a project is, the less you have to think about it. You can do your preparation on the way from your trailer to the set if it's written well, and it hits nerves automatically the first time that you read something. Now, there's a lot of things that we brainstormed on, and we came up with a lot of things that, you know, we all wrote the Mantage with Rock. We all wrote that on the day. And some of the, like, we were thinking, like, what is all like a real man? Like, one of my favorite lines didn't even make the Mantage because I thought it was too fucking offensive. Show of hands if this shit's offensive. My line was, a real man doesn't say he'll only put the tip in, and then only fucking put the tip in. Apparently they thought that shit was offensive. I'm like, fucking bunch of pussies.
Brian, any thoughts on this?
No.
Okay.
All right, then. Well, question from the audience time.
Actually, you were just talking about my favorite scene in the second movie, the whole Rocco speech when he's basically getting the boys back on their ship. But how long did it take? Did you do more than one take on that? Because you guys seem like you were kind of cracking up some points in that.
Rock.
What scene was that? In 2?
Yeah, your speech.
The bar?
The whole thing. Particularly one of the funniest scenes, in my opinion, is when you're on the roof.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I didn't know my fucking line.
Can I guess, let me tell you guys how, before the toilet scene, before the toilet prank, when I first met Rocco, I swear to God, I'm on the set and I'm sitting in one of the director's chairs behind the monitor, and Rock walks up to me and I see him coming, and I knew who he was from far before, and he walks right up to me and he goes, Sean, do you like peanut butter? I said, yeah, Rock, I enjoy peanut butter. He goes, yeah, me too. No, she just fucking walked away. I'm like, and that fucking set the groundwork for our relationship. And I love that motherfucker, man.
Everybody loves Rocco. He's got one of the most creative minds. You don't know what he's going to say next. I was riding down the street with him one day, and he looks out at these apartment buildings, and he goes, B. Mahoney, do you think lives in an apartment building like that? Do you think it's a dentist? Yeah, I think maybe a dentist, Rob. Yeah. We all love Rock.
What do you guys think a girl dressed like that is going to ask you? I'm like,
Can I have a piece of cake, please?
I would not have guessed that's what she was going to ask. You want a piece of cake?
Come get it.
Only if you let Cliff feed it to you.
It's his birthday. The stairs are over there.
With his
Oh wait, Sean.
finger.
Okay.
Dirty fuckers out.
We've got donuts too.
I usually have one on me with the metal detectors out front. Mexicans always got the knife.
Well, Cliffy, here she is.
There you go.
She's hungry.
It's all you.
That made perfect sense. Next question.
Yes, go ahead. You gotta get closer to the microphone.
This is for Clifton. One, happy birthday.
You gotta get even closer. Let it abrade the dermis.
I love Rocco. He's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, cool, thanks. Right on. Next.
I have cousins that are basically him. And I hail from a color group of people on like a daily basis. But I want to know, I know you do like, this is obviously like a super fun movie to do. And I know you've done super serious movies like Capote, and I was wondering, do you like go about preparing for such different roles the same way, or do you kind of go about it, from different angles, as it were?
Yeah, you kind of, my preparation changes from role to role. I mean, something like Capote, I've got like source materials to go to, and things to study, and interviews to watch and listen to, whereas in something like Boondock Saints, the source materials, really Troy and kind of like Taylor Duffy, so it is different. I might watch a bunch of fun action movies or just explore the world that he created, because there's a lot, it's pretty rich, it's a lot of fun. And plus Troy writes so much of, writers write what they know about, and Troy's, I think Boondock's environment encompasses so much of how Troy grew up and what would like to have grown up.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Hi, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I started out with Boondock Saints too, and
Is that where he was conceived?
no. But I got my son hooked on it, and he is a big fan of both 1 and 2, but he likes the second one much more because it's a little bit more lighthearted than the first one. And he told me that he cried on the first one because Rocco died. And he loves Rocco. Why do you think that the second one is a little bit more lighthearted in terms of, Romeo's character? He's more, out there than Rocco is. Why is it a little bit more lighthearted in that sense?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
I'm not even in part 1.
Yes, I'm sorry. Do you think it's lighthearted?
I think she's asking you why is the Romeo character written a little bit more lighthearted
that's
than
the
the original
Yeah.
Rocco character?
And in the overall sense of the movie, it's a little bit more lighthearted than the first one, because the first one was like so serious with the sidekick Rocco being killed, and Romeo's still alive, and he's, and in Prison Ramen, it's, Troy Duffy's got this whole thing of him, speaking in the courtroom, and he makes a little girl cry, and he continues on pretty much, and Rocco's, he comes back in the sequence of dreams.
regards to being Romeo being more lighthearted, Troy, he came to me and said, "Cliffy, I wrote you into the script." I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of antics that happen. Kind of what Sean was saying earlier. Troy's really good at just kind of picking up what goes on around and lifting it, and on top of his own creative, writings that they put it all together. He's just kind of masterful that way. So he would take a lot of just our jokes and kind of throw them in there and change them and evolve them and rewrite them. And so I think a lot of that just comes from the fun times just hanging out, really. And who wants a downer sequel anyway, right? Why not have some fun? You're spending 2 hours in there, so you better have fun.
Thank you.
But thank you, little homie, for being a
thank
fan.
you, brother. Thank you.
Rage. That's your name, by the way.
Okay, next question.
My question is for Sean.
Nice and loud.
I know you don't normally have to sit in one spot very long because you're so energetic.
So you gotta get closer to the little silver ball.
I'll leave that alone.
I know you're energetic. You don't want to have to sit in one place very long. You're always moving around. I loved your tattoos in the movie. How long did you have to sit there to have those applied? Were they every day, or were they, you have to sit there a long time?
Yeah, I missed the center part.
She loved your tattoos in the movie. She can tell you're rather hyperactive. She wanted to know how long you had to sit there and put those on each day, or did they last for multiple days?
Well, here's the deal. I'm a white Irish dude. I have really dry skin. So it lasted a long time. Rita's had to have his shit put on like every 2 hours. Seriously, it's like my shit, you couldn't get it off, like those tattoos. They're like rub-on tattoos. But they would also do it with an illustrator. So they would fill it in with a little paintbrush. So it took probably 3 hours to put them on. But mine would honestly, I would shower and things would stay on. I mean, they looked more real with a little bit of wear. Mine would stay on 5 days. There's good and bad. I mean, the bad is I got dry skin, I got wrinkles all over, and I got dry skin. But the fucking Rita's the bad side. You can't wear my fucking temporary tattoo, bitch. But they were cool. Whoever designed those, they were really cool looking.
So what do each of you take from this experience having been in these films?
What do you take from the experience having done these films?
Okay, Brian, what do you...
The panel.
I'm in a really lucky position actually, because as sort of the low man of the totem pole, I get to sit back and shut up and learn. And I learned a lot from Sean and Norm about fame and how to deal with things like press. And for instance, I got asked a question recently. I was doing some press, and I talked to Sean about it later. I said, Brian, don't do any press unless they say specifically they want someone from the Boondock Saints or Detective Duffy or something. Because if they're just general, they want you to publicize an event or something, you never know what they're going to say. And so I did this press anyway, and the first thing out of the guy's mouth was, so what'd you think about the Orlando incident? I'm like, holy shit, the Orlando incident? And it's like, I talked to Sean about it later, it's like, there's no correct answer. It was this horrific event in our history. But no matter what you say, you're gonna offend somebody, and it's just a bullshit question. This next question was, how old are you? I'm like, fuck, this is the press you guys deal with all the time? It's like, shit, it's just tough stuff. So I get to sit back and watch Sean and Cliffy and Norm, and I'm learning a lot from these guys. It's tougher than it looks, man.
Cliffy, same question to you.
Every film is I hope to take away a lot of things. I mean, you build relationships. You're spending 8, 10, 12, sometimes 18 hours a day together. I mean, you don't do that with your best friends. You don't do that with your wife or your girlfriend, unless you're really into each other. But you have to. And on set, it's especially when you love what you do and you're collaborating. You got all these creative energies. It's I just hope to grow and just be a better artist and a better person with everyone, and just have a greater sense of what I do and how I do it, and to hopefully keep entertaining and create new characters every time.
All right, well, I know they're wrapping us up, but if I don't ask this question, I'm going to regret it. We've talked a lot about the great actors on the film. We've talked a lot about the process. What was the process for the great run, Jeremy? What was that like?
Zip. Yob.
There it is.
That was his process. As a red-blooded Texan myself, obviously I had to ask the question. Fuck yeah. I obviously had to ask. Like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, when you meet Ron Jeremy, I'm like, dude, what? I mean, like, what the fuck did you do? Like, because all dudes, you're dudes, so you're in high school going, you know what I mean? Like, the first, like, what does a woman, like, when she's, you can't use that for anything, right? It's like, and I'm like, how big? It's fucking, like, it's just, like, unusually, like, frighteningly huge. He's like, no, it's only 2 inches. From the floor! I was like, I fucking like this guy, man. He was the coolest guy, but I really would. I would ask those questions. I don't give a shit. Ron Jeremy's one of the coolest cats I've met, man. That cat. And so you ask him all the questions, like, about that industry and things, and about, keeping a small warhead in your underwear, and what the problems that presents and potential benefits. I ask those questions. Everybody else is just like, hey, so did you like the soup and catering? And I'm like, fuck off. Let's get back to the underwear, man. What the fuck? Let's talk about this shit. I want to know. I did. I asked all those questions. He's a super good dude, man. And remember what Clifton said. Doing these movies, you see Hallmark cards that they're like, they always say, you'll never remember, what a person said, but you'll remember how they made you feel. That's the truth. What you get out of films is the people that moved you in certain ways, And this was one of the rare films that I honestly, every time you end a film, and Cliffy and Brian and Rock can attest to this, you leave a film and you're like, hey, let's do lunch one time. Oh yeah, let's do lunch with them. It's the only film where I used every fucking number that I took down. It's truly, and maybe that's a product of why the chemistry was alive in the actual film, because we did get along. We got along with everybody. I made more friends on Boondock than probably any other 5 films combined. And it's rare, It's rare that you get an opportunity to work with people that you really, really dig. Like when they call rap for the day, you actually hang out with them. And it's rare. And this was one of those moments. So that's what you get out of any job. It's not just the film industry. Whatever job you've had in your life, the reason you liked it is probably because of the people. It's probably because of the people.
Speaking about the people, I had the privilege of actually sitting down with Sean a couple months back, and when my series returns in September of interviews with Ernie Manous, Sean is one of my guests. So make sure you tune in for that half hour to hear more of his stories throughout his career. But I do want to take a moment right now and thank the cast of Boondock Saints.
Guys, let me just interrupt real quick for a second. Let me tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I think everybody up here shares my sentiment. You guys, when you come up and you meet us at the table, a lot of y'all say things like, thank you guys for doing this. It means a lot to the fans and yada yada. Let me just tell you, it's all bullshit, because it's a very lopsided relationship. What we get from seeing a full auditorium will sit whatever experience you have by us talking to you the fuck down. It's like, this is a lopsided relationship. We get the big end of the stick. Trust me. This moves me so much that I will keep on going for the rest of my life. Some of you guys traveled a long way to just come in here and talk to us about shit that we've already been paid to do. You guys get the short end of the stick, but I swear to God, you guys, I'll take care of my big end, and God bless you, because it feels good. Thank you for the time.